Well, welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Well, today you've seen the first cut, and this is it right here using my plasma cutter, and I have to make another cut right here. And what I'm doing today is building something that I've never done before, but to me it's logic, and using a little bit of reasoning and experimenting on making an ice block. It's not so easy to make an ice block. Yeah, you can just throw something in the freezer and make an ice block, but you know what? I've been using camping coolers, well, for about 50 years. I've been making ice blocks, well, about half that time. And there's one thing I've noticed. Here's one of these blue gel ideas. And if you take a look at that, you could see how this is all wowed out like this. Well, as ice freezes, it expands. Roughly, I'm going to guess 10%. So what I've been doing for many years, you've been following the channel, I showed everybody how I make ice blocks. I've got a freezer outside here, a small little deep freezer. I make my own ice blocks. And what happens? Squishes out sideways, pushes the bottom in, does all kinds of distortions to these. Now the only one I will use is the Rubbermaid. This is like over 10 years old. I'm still using it. And you know what? The thing's indestructible. Makes great ice blocks. But I want to make one out of steel. It's going to be 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches high. So, and I'm going to have a future camping cooler. I'm going to show the reason why I'm making this specifically for that. And we're going to continue now, and we're going to make this, and the whole idea is so that there will be no more distortions. I'm using 16 gauge steel, and I don't believe that it will buckle the sides, push the bottom out, this kind of thing. And I think that it's going to work. Now, what I'm planning on doing is putting enough water inside so it comes up to a roughly 10 and a half inches high. So I figure if I put in, say, 9 inches of water, well, it'll probably expand up. Because 16 gauge steel all the way around, I don't think it's going to push it out, do you? But I'm going to show you an ice block when I'm finished, when I got this all done, and we'll see how it fares. But let's get to it right now, and I'm going to finish cutting up. I got a big slab of steel there. I'm going to finish plasma cutting all the pieces up, and then I'll show you how it all goes together and welds. Well, for you that are interested, I'll show you the setup here. Yeah, you can see where I'm going to put the weld up there, and on this side put the weld up there, and I got my square in there. The two magnets, that's all you need, is just the two magnets. And you know, you have to square everything up, and I made sure that it's exactly 10 inches from here to here. Now these plates will move back and forth, but I'll put a clamp on here and here, pull them in together so it's right on the 10-inch mark. So that's what we got there so far, and that plate here is going to go on top. So let's start tacking that together, and let's see how we do. Okay, you ready? Let's put some tacks on this. Okay, I've done the other side. We'll turn it over now, and then we'll tack on the top. Well, let's just take a look and see. This is the top. This has already been welded on. And I know this tape measures upside down for you, but there's the 10 inches there. And you know what? It didn't buckle the sides or nothing. I just tacked it lightly. So we're going to fire that on right there. Okay, let's get to it. Now I like to just tack the front and the back first so that it doesn't move on you. Okay, I'll weld up the other side and then we'll take a look. Well, this is what we've got so far. You can just see I've just got tacks there all the way along, and it's exactly 10 by 10, and I do not have a piece for the bottom, but I'm gonna go get that. And this is it right here, just tacked up, and I am gonna wait until I put the bottom on before I tack the bottom on, and then I'll weld the whole thing right up. And of course I have a little bit extra on the outside here, so of course what I'm going to do is just grind it right nice all the way along the edges there, and that's what it's going to be so far. So I'll bring you back when I got the bottom, and I'll start tacking the bottom all the way around. Okay, I'm back from the steel store. As you can see, this is the piece I picked up right here, and you can see there's a big difference between them. Guys, when I seen this 14 gauge, I thought, oops, this is like almost 1/8. So I don't know what that is, maybe 8 gauge, 4 gauge, I'm not too sure, but I put my steel ruler on it. It's just a hair below 1/8. So on the bottom here, yeah, we're going to put some 14 gauge, and I'm just going to slip it on the bottom there, and I don't think the bottom hopefully will make any difference anyways. So let's start welding this up, and I think 14 gauge is plenty, because I looked at the other one and I thought, man, that's pretty thick for 16 gauge. Oh well, these things happen, right? Okay, so let's get to it. Let's start welding. Okay, I got you zoomed in there pretty good, and as you can see, yeah, I had to put a clamp on here and put a clamp on here, because of course, you know, you got to have everything all fastened up, because if you don't, well, you're going to have gaps and it's harder to weld. So let's just put a couple of tacks in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it all the way around, and then I'm just going to lay a bead from one end all the way to the other, all the way around, and I'll bring you back when it's all welded up. Well, she's all welded up. I did my best at welding it all the way around, and as you can see, I've got these flanges I got to take off here, this outside edge. I've got to cut this all around here, and of course, I'm going to use the plasma cutter. And around here, and she's pretty well done. And if you look inside there, yeah, just a square box, and hopefully it doesn't leak, and if it does, I can just touch it up, no problem. So let's go to this right here and just zip this right off, and I'll zip this off here too with the plasma cutter, and I'll show you how easy that is to do. Well, let's get to it right now. And we'll zip off this side here. And we got one more side to go here. There. It's all done. And this here is just the pieces left over from using the plasma cutter. So the only other thing I did is I put a couple of hooks on here, because you know you have to actually carry this, right? And I'm going to be able to put a rope on it and drop it right down in my deep freezer. Okay, so let's take a look at it here. And it's just more or less just grounded off around. You know, it's nothing fancy. And of course, there it is. Just a 10 by 10. And, you know, this is 12 inches high here. So I'm going to put the water, to get a 10.5 inch block, I'm guessing I'm going to put maybe 9.5 inches of water in. So I'm going to put the water in, and I'm going to see if I put 9.5 inches of water, what will I end up with a frozen block. So we'll come back when this block is all frozen, and we'll take a look and we'll see. Okay, we're back. As you can see, she's all painted up, and there's the ice block there. And here's just a little piece of plastic tubing I used as a measuring stick. And I put in 9.5 inches and it came to 10. So it expanded a 1/2 inch over that surface. So the block is 10 by 10. And so what do you guys think? Now that took 2 days to freeze, and I think it looks just terrific. Well, what do you think? It was easy. All you do is you just put the water in there, you take it out in your driveway, and you just get your hose and just hose off the outside of it so it breaks the seal on the other sides. I used to do that with the plastic totes as well, and makes a beautiful block. Okay, so in the future, I'm going to show you exactly what that's for. I'm going to explain the whole reason behind all of this, and look forward to that. But this was an easy project, and for me, I can make the ice blocks in the future all different sizes, and you're going to see how this all goes together in the future. And you know, I wonder how many of you have ever decided to make one of these ice block makers. I don't think too many, and I don't know how many are going to try it themselves. But for me, ice blocks seem to be the best for me in my experience of so many years of using camping coolers. And this one here is made for a perfect camping cooler you're going to see in the future. Okay, you guys take care. Come back again if you haven't seen this channel before. Well, you're welcome to subscribe and watch some more. Cheers.